Alright, welcome back to a brand new video here on the second channel. And you know the drill, it's time to look at every single deck that got day 2 at the Lille Regionals. Definitely some interesting results to look at. There were a couple cool decks actually that did well in the tournament. And of course, the deck that won the tournament was Regidrago V-Star, which I think is Regidrago V-Star's first major win. Even though the deck has been considered BDIF and top tier for a while, it finally got a victory, making Drago potentially best deck in the format going forward. We'll have to see on that one. And I definitely want to look at these results here in today's video. And I'll leave a link to Limitless, the site I'm using, down in the description below if you want to go check out any decks for yourself. And of course, if you're new to the second channel, make sure to subscribe down below. We're on the road to 18,000 subs. I won my 4th League Cup yesterday, so definitely check out the tournament report I also did after watching this video. It'd be greatly appreciated if you want to go check that out. I played Lost Box, so I won a League Cup with Lost Box. But yeah, let's take a look here at the day 2 results. So James Cox won the tournament. James Cox obviously has had a lot of good results before, just hasn't got the W, but finally got the victory this weekend with the deck Regidrago V-Star. He actually played the same 60 as to what like John Eng played. It looks like 2 Dorman Regionals top 16 finish. Drago doesn't really change much for Stellar Crown, but we do see his list here does have that 1/1 Noctowl in the deck. Noctowl is a really good card with Ogre Pawn, right? So you can kind of have some cool synergy there. Makes it easier to pull off those turn 2 E-Switch plays. Does have the Jamming Tower, Temple of Sinnoh. No Noivern in the deck, so just kind of finding alternative, better results at beating something like the Terapagos deck. When you already have Dragapult and Kyurem, you don't really need the Noivern as much. But yeah, big congrats to James for the big victory there. I'm sure he'll be doing a video on his channel interviewing himself. That'd be pretty funny. But we do have Clement in the finals here playing the Dragapult Pidgeot deck. So yeah, once again, Dragapult making it all the way to the finals at a European regional. Dragapult has been doing pretty good, of course, in Europe. It did win at Dortmund Regionals, but this one is the Pidgeot build, not the Dusknoir build with no Pidgeot. The Pidgeot build here has been doing good in online tournaments, so I'm surprised to see it have this good result. So maybe it's the optimal way to play Dragapult, who knows? I mean, it's just kind of back and forth, right? The build does play the Alakazam Hawlucha combo, has the Crispin, it's got the Devo in the deck, the Temple, and at the league headquarters. Pretty like standard Dragapult Pidgeot list, but a pretty consistent and strong build at what it's trying to do. And yeah, Dragapult looking still pretty good. Snorlax in top 4. Snorlax did have some cool innovations this weekend, which we'll look at in just a moment. But yeah, Snorlax doing good in Europe doesn't surprise me. It does have the Diancie in the deck, which does help into Lugia, because you can use Diancie to KO the Cinchinos. Once you deal with Cinchino, Lugia struggles against you because you have Mimikyu Ogre Pawn combo, which makes it tough for them to beat you. And then we had a couple more Dragos in top 4. We had a Drago in top 4 with the Penny in the deck, no Noctowl. The Penny's nice. You can just pick up a liability, obviously, put it back in your hand. It can heal stuff. Good into Snorlax also, which was relevant. I mean, there was a Snorlax in top 8. And then also Kaiwin was able to make top 8 too. Another very strong, consistent player. I think same 60 as James Cox, right? So same 60. He's got the Noctowl and stuff in the deck. A couple Lugias in top 8. We had Zapdos TCG in top 8. Big congrats to Zapdos for the top 8 placement. We do see him just running the same 60 back from Worlds, just doing what Rahul and Kieran has been doing. Does have the triple Cinchino, so very heavy line of Cinchino, just trying to utilize Cinchino as much as possible. Definitely a strong play when you have a better matchup in a bull, when you just have more Cinchinos. No Weird Ear, no Squawkabilly, just kind of all in on the Cinchino. Does play the Carmine, though, as opposed to playing the Squawkabilly within the deck. We have another Lugia here, piloted by Ethan Wild. Another big finish for Ethan here. Does have the Squawk in the deck. It does have the Weird Ear. The 1/2 Cinchino line alongside the Thornton. So Thornton's kind of the sneaky combo card in the deck. You can Thornton out a Cinchino out of nowhere, especially when you only play the 1 Minccino. Does have the Wellspring Ogre Pawn in the deck for the sniping potential. The hands in there, the Legacy, no Raikou or anything. Just, you know, strong Lugia list. And then finally, we had a Raging Bolt in top 8. Raging Bolt did just win Louisville, but this one was able to make top 8. No Slitherwing or Sandy Shocks in deck. Does, however, play the quad Bravery Charms. It's trying to be as bulky as possible. The Bravery Charms can be very annoying, especially when decks are not playing stuff like Jamming Tower and the Vacuum and stuff. And outside the top 8, there was another cool deck here. We had the Bayonet Gardevoir, a deck that has been honestly getting a lot of traction recently. I had to play it against at a League Cup yesterday. It was my one loss of the tournament, and I've been seeing this deck a lot at my locals too. A lot of big players in my area are on this deck. So this deck is actually getting a lot of groundswell right now. This actually might look like a legit deck going forward. Like, I don't know if it's gonna be one of those like niche decks where like you don't expect to see it, but honestly, this deck might start getting more popular, especially for LEIC. And I did miss Drago. There was a Drago in 9th place here. Once again, playing the Noctowl in the deck. No Noivern or anything, does have the Jamming Tower and everything like that. And we got another Lugia here in top 16, piloted by Andrzej, of course, world champion from 2022. Playing Lugia with the Weird Ear, the Ogre Pawn, the 1/1 Cinchino, no Raikou or anything like that. But yeah, it does have the Squawkabilly and stuff. And then we had Sander with Snorlax in top 16. Now, Sander's Snorlax is extremely insane. He is not playing a Rotom V. So the logic behind Sander, he tweeted this out. He was saying that the no Rotom in the deck means that your opponent needs to take 6 prizes usually, right? So they have to go through 6 Pokemon without the Rotom. Because usually when you bench Rotom against Snorlax, it gives you a boss target so you can retreat. It also allows you to take 2 prizes, which speeds up your win con against Snorlax. When you have no Rotom in the deck, you have to go through the 6 Pokemon, which can be very tough to deal with. Now, the only problem is you don't play Rotom, you don't have a Draw Engine in the deck, so you can't just sit there and instant charge and get, through your deck really quickly to have, like, Penny Loops with Silene and Yellowcheer. But in this case, there is 4 Trekking Shoes, but the big innovation was the boxed order in the deck. Search deck for 2 items, reveal them, put them in your hand, then your turn ends. So at first, you're probably like, this card is terrible, but when you're playing a deck like Snorlax, where you don't really care about your turn ending, and when you have so many insanely good items you need to be finding, like Counter Catcher and stuff, Boxed Order ends up actually being an insanely good card in this deck. This card is kind of the engine of the deck, which is really cool to see. Sander is always innovating with control, and he just innovated with the Snorlax deck. This might be the optimal way to play Snorlax going forward. We'll have to see. I know the highest placing Snorlax deck was playing the Rotom, but the Sander build here definitely looks really cool. I'm not a big fan of Snorlax myself. I don't think I'll be playing this deck, but it's really interesting. And, if anyone's a control Snorlax player, this definitely could be something to look at and consider playing, because there's some interesting stuff. There's even Choi in the deck, which allows you to look at your opponent's hand and then draw 3 cards. Hand knowledge is obviously really good in the format. So cool stuff. Palkia Dusknoir in top 16. Not surprised to see it. Just, strong, consistent deck right now. Always doing good numbers. The other big note of this tournament was Gouging Fire getting top 16. Now, Gouging Fire did win Dortmund Regionals in the Juniors division, and I think the list actually, honestly, it might be the same 60 from the Dortmund list, or at least it's extremely close to the same 60, but we do see Luke Kirkham here with the top 16 finish with the Gouging Fire deck. Really cool stuff, putting Gouging Fire on the map. Honestly, I think it's the most underrated big basic deck in the format. It's got a lot of different plays with the different attackers, with the Monkey Dory being in the deck too. A lot of different things you can do with Gouging Fire in this meta. And it's a very, it is linear with how you can play with Blaze Blitz doing 260 every turn, but there are a lot of really cool counter plays you can make with the deck. It's not as linear as, like, Bolt and Moon and stuff. Another Drago in top 16. This one does have the Haxorus in the deck, helps a bit against Lugia and Tropicos, and it gives you a 230 damage attacker, which can be relevant. Finally, Lugia in top 16. Now, this one is where things get wild. There is a Great Tusk EX. Now, you're probably like, why is there a Great Tusk? What the heck does this card do in Lugia? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This card seems kind of, I don't know, it's weird, but it is interesting. It's got the ability where it's in the active spot. At the end of your turn, you have to discard the top 5 cards of your deck. Now, this could be good if you want to mill Archeops, though it's kind of milling 5 cards. It's extremely sus. I think the main reason why it's in here is for the attack Great Bash that is 260 damage, and it shreds through the opponent. So, with Great Tusk, you can go through Mimikyu and Ogerpon. That's probably why it's here. It's a tech for Snorlax. In fact, Canadian player Benny Billinger hit this on the win and in with Snorlax and lost because of the Great Tusk, which is kind of insane. So this card got a Limitless page and also got a pretty good finish in the tournament. That's crazy. I don't know if this is optimal in Lugia going forward. It also has Raikou, Hands, Klefki, like a toolbox style approach. But that Great Tusk is just actually insane. Just some wild stuff there for sure. Stefan Ivanov getting top 32 once again with the Palkia Dusknoir deck. Been on a tear with that. Another Drago here. Got a Zard Pidgeot. So Zard's highest placement was top 32. It does have the Maxim Belt in the deck. Just like, we see the same list actually from Isaiah Chaville. The Max Belt does help, in a lot of those big basic matchups, and it can be a surprising card to play against, because usually you don't expect the Max Belt and Zard. You're expecting Unfair Stamp, or even Hero's Cape, even Prime Catcher. Max Belt's kind of at the bottom of that list. Another Drago. This one does have the Haxorus and the Gudra in the deck, which does give you a better time in the mirror. And then, of course, we do have the highest place Tropicos at top 32. I think Tropicos is still a pretty strong deck right now. This one does have the Buffalon. I just guess not enough players are on it right now. I think a lot of the big players this weekend were just playing Regidrago, which does beat Tropicos, so just kind of is what it is. This one does have the Penny in the deck, does have the Buffalon, does have that tank approach, but still obviously playing the Dusknoirs for that, like, checkmate style approach you can do with the deck. And then we had a Moon in top 32. Not surprised to see that. Moon's just a strong, fast deck. I mean, it's never going to be popular in my opinion, because I think Raging Bolt is the better turbo deck, but Moon can still just win games. It's the fastest deck. It has the highest percentage of getting turn 1 knockouts usually in the format out of all the turbo decks, in my opinion. It does have the Emergency Jelly in the deck and Enhanced Hammer, so a couple of techs there in the list. Pidgeot Control in top 32, also just playing the usual stuff. Does have the Sparkling Crystal, which does allow you to make some insane plays with the Wellspring Ogerpon, but also lets you attack with Cornerstone Ogerpon. So instead of playing like Hero's Cape or Survival Brace, does opt for that Sparkling Crystal to give you more plays with the Ogerpons in the deck too. Cool stuff. Some innovations for sure this weekend. There was the Turbo Henry Chow Gardevoir deck here also within top 32. Well, actually, it's not super turbo. Because that secret box the ace spec. I saw the secret box, immediately thought it was like the Henry Chow list. It's not the Henry Chow list exactly. There's no candy in the deck and no research, but it does still play the secret box. That's the ace spec, I guess. Another Drago here. Double Noctowl in the deck for more consistency. Another Guardy here in top 32. This one was a turbo build. Now, this was the Henry Chow build with the double candy, the tomb. Yeah, literally same 60 Henry Chow played to Louisville. Another Snorlax in top 32. Like I said, EU loves their Snorlaxes. Not surprised to see one also in top 32. We got another Zard here with the unfair stamp. Pretty, standard Zard 60 there. And there was a Lost Box in top 32, and this one is, of course, similar to the Michael Davidson build. It does have the Raikou in the deck, though, as an extra attacker in the deck over playing the Zapdos or the Moon or anything. It does have that Raikou V in the deck. Raikou's still pretty solid, too. Yeah, gives you more versatility, gives you another attacker. Can help. It doesn't need as much energy either, like Hands and Bear can do sometimes. We do see another Palkia here in top 32. Palkia Dusknoir, just really strong deck, nothing really to say there. Brent Tonneson was on the same 60 as James Cox and stuff, was able to get top 32 here with the Drago. And now Lugia. This one's got the double Cinccino, the hands, and does have the Wellspring Ogerpon in the deck. Another Snorlax here outside top 32. We're going to probably see a lot of Snorlax in this tournament. Quathorns is able to get top 64 too. I mean, pretty solid placement. Quathorn seems risky, though, at an EU tournament when there is a lot of Snorlax. And this one doesn't play any canceling clone, it looks like. But it does have the hammers and catchers in the deck. Another Lugia here with the Ogerpon, the Weird Ear, Squawkabillion stuff. Does have the Jamie Tower Mezagoza split. Does help into the Raging Bolt matchup. Speaking of Raging Bolt, there's one below it with, of course, Triple Charm and the Slitherwing. Actually, literally the same 60 from Caleb Gettimer's winning Louisville list. Look at that. Another Thorns in top 64 behind it. Ooh, a Blood Moon. Now, this is risky because you can start with the Blood Moon. There's Penny in the deck, I guess. You can, pick up the Blood Moon if you do start with it. But Blood Moon, I guess, can be a sneaky tech card that can kind of sweep the opponent out of nowhere. That's a really interesting card, actually, to see in the Thorns list here. Also playing Calamitous Wasteland in the deck. Double Cologne. Stuff like that. Cool. Another Drago here. Playing the Noivern. Does have Temple and Scoop Up and Taroso. Trying to lean a little bit more into the lock route against Raging Bull with Lone Noivern, it looks like. Now, Lugia here, playing the Clef Key in the deck there. It looks like a couple more Zards here we can look at. This one does play the Grand Tree, so that's cool. The Grand Tree A-Spec. Nice to see it have a result again. It's never going to be the optimal, most popular A-Specing Charizard, but it is cool to see it have results. Does let you get Pidgeotto out, and obviously lets you get Dusknoir out of nowhere from your deck with a Super Rod. It turns your Rods effectively into, Dusknoir, which is kind of crazy. And then another Zard here does play the Collapsed and the Jamming Tower. I like the Jamming Tower in the deck there. Is it better than Vacuum, though? Is the question. I'm not too sure. Another Tropicos here in top 64. Playing the Boufflant also. I guess you might like their Boufflants. Another Dragapult. This one is Dragapult Dusknoir with, triple Crispin and Arc. This is a spicy deck. There's a lot of innovations this weekend so far from the Lille Regionals, looks like, in some of these decks. And seeing Dragapult Dusknoir, very heavy count of Dracloak, too. Also playing the one Arc V-Star, so you can use Starbirth to set up. And also plays triple Crispin is kind of insane, actually. In fact, it only plays one Iono in the deck. Kind of a crazy list. It was able to do pretty good in the tournament, so that's sick to see. Another Tropicos here. No Boufflant. No Lugia. Playing the double Jamming Tower in the deck there. A couple more Snorlaxes to look at. I don't know if we're going to see any more Sander Snorlax in the tournament. I think Sander's probably the only one who was playing the thing there. The no Rodon build. The boxed order deck. We do see another Raging Bolt here with the Slitherwing. Triple Bravery Charm. Another Lugia here, double Cinccino, Wellspring Ogerpon there. Another Reggie Drago. Playing the Noivern and the Temple Sinnoh in that deck. So there it is. I think I skipped over a deck. Did I? Double Lax. Yeah, I skipped over the Snorlax deck. Another Snorlax here. Okay, there we go. And we got another Lugia. Playing the Klefki hand. Raikou, no Lightning in the deck, though. Another Reggie Drago here with the Noivern and the Temple Sinnoh. And then we got another Lost Box here in top 64. Once again, playing the Lightning stuff. Does have the Zapdos over the Raikou. It's kind of similar to what we saw in Louisville, right? The Zapdos being a nice one-price attacker that does 190 damage, offsets price trade against Palkia, and can kill Rodom and stuff. So there is relevance to playing the Zapdos. Another Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt with Noctowl. I like to see it. And Fan Rodom. So a bit more of a, interesting list on Raging Bolt. But like I said, a lot of innovations being made this weekend. Also playing Area Zero in the deck, so you can just fill your bench up even more. That's really cool. And it had a pretty good result. Top 64 is not bad. Another Dragapult Dusknoir deck here, it looks like. That one is not as, super teched out, obviously. Another Zard. Playing Prime Catcher in the deck alongside the one Jamming Tower, and it's got the Mist for the Tex in the deck. Another Tropicos here with, yep, the one with Red Drago. So the Drago V-Star is interesting. You can use Red Drago to, like, checkmate your opponent because it lets you get back cards from your discard pile. Even though you're not going to attack with it, you can use its V-Star power, literally, like I said, to get resources back in your hand. It allows you to just checkmate your opponent a lot easier, which is cool. Then we have another Lost Box. This one, also playing the Lightning package, has the Thorns and the Hands in the deck and the Tomb. Yeah, cool stuff. Thorns going back in the deck here. Nice to see. Actually, yo, Tord played Lost Box. Oh. All right, Tord did play Lost Box this tournament. That's really interesting. I swap the... Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know Tord was on Lost Box. I thought he was playing Tropicos again. That's cool. Another Quad Thorns here below it. It's got the catchers. No canceling Cologne. Another Tropicos. Playing the double Boufflant. Does have Rotom in the deck, too. That's interesting. Got another Palkia Dusknoir here. No Rotom in that one. Another Dragapult Dusknoir. Let's see here. We got another Lost Box deck, and this one does have the Moon, does have the Hands Moon Raikou Blood Moon package in the deck here. Pretty standard list. No Roxanne. Double Force Seal, though. Triple Vacuum, Triple Stop. I like to see it. Yeah, I like the list. I like it. Actually, it was, yeah, Hermione's list, and, you know, Hermione's really good at Lost Box, so cool stuff. Innovations for sure. Another Lugia with the double Cinccino. Then we got another Raging Bolt here. Playing Minior in the deck, so really trying to respect control this weekend, which makes sense, because, like, well, stall anyway, it's not control, but yeah. Because Raging Bolt can lose to stall pretty easily, in my opinion. And then we got another Lugia with Cinccino there. Got another Zard playing the Unfair Stamp. Temple Sinnoh Collapse Split. And we got another Guardy here. Another Turbo build of Guardy. Playing Gravity Gemstone is also interesting. You got the Flutter Mane in there, too. And the Pheasantipede and stuff. Yeah, Turbo Guardy. We got another Zard with Prime Catcher, Bibarel. Interesting. Cool stuff, cool stuff. Another Lugia here. Playing the Raikou. Does have the Lightning Energy in the Vessel. So, yeah, it looks like it's like the Rahul build, but there is a Wellspring Ogre Pawn also in the deck. Another Raging Bolt with the 4 Charms and the Slither Wing in the deck, just trying to be as bulky as possible. We got another Palkia Dusknoir here with the double Froakie. I like double Froakie right now because a lot of the games you do need to lean on Greninja, so just having 2 Froakie means that you can't just lose it turn 1 and then kind of lose the game from there. Another Drago with the no Noivern or anything. Just standard Drago list, it looks like. We got our highest place Miraidon here in the tournament. Miraidon's just kind of like, it is what it is. It's not the worst deck right now, but kind of surprised to see it not do as well. I guess Raging Bolt is just too bad of a matchup, especially when they're playing 4 Charms. But the Miraidon 60, it's got the Aries Zero, it's got the Mewtwo in the deck. Miraidon might get better with Pikachu. Another Guardy Bayonetta deck here. Doing pretty good. Same 60 as what actually, we're looking at Magnus' list. Not the same 60 as the one that got top 16. Another Lugia with the Klefki in the deck there. Another Lost Box. Once again, playing at the Zapdos in the deck. Yeah, cool stuff. Zapdos pretty fun. I might have to experiment with that later on in the future. Maybe I'll do a video on that deck. Who knows? I mean, I like Lost Box, man. Just saying. Another Guardy. This one, more the more slow-paced Guardy. Let's place the Mimikyu in the deck there. It's got another Lugia here with the 2 Cinchinos. It's got the Jamming Tower Mesogoza Split. Another Zard. Max Bell Zard once again. So yeah, Zard playing all the different aspects. We've seen all, especially for Heroescape. We'll see if there's any Zard with Heroescape. Then we'll create the trifecta of all the Zards with the different aspects. Another Dragapult doing good in the tournament. Drago, sorry. Another Guardy Bayonetta deck here. Yeah, same 60 as what Magnus was playing. We just looked at. Lugia here. Let's see. Legacy Energy does have Carmine and Squawkabilly. A lot of turbo in that deck. Playing the Jamming Tower, Mesogoza Split also. Another Snorlax here with, of course, the Rotom Heroescape stuff. Another Dragapult Pidgeot with the Dusknoir in the deck this time, though. And has Thornton in the deck. That's cool. And we got another Regidrago. Yeah, Drago 60 is probably just going to look pretty similar. Same with, like, the Lugia is going to have some innovations. Like, this one does have the Raikou and the Klefki, but no Lightning Energy in the deck. We got another Lugia here playing the Carmine Squawk, also the Klefki and the Wellspring Ogre Pawn, and another Palkia Dusknoir. Let's see here. Another Pidgey Control. Let's see what this one's got. Okay, it's got the Heroescape base spec. Let's play the Sandshrew, stuff like that. All right, cool. Another Quad Thorns. This one does have no canceling clone, but does play the Zerosix Machinations, which can be pretty annoying, and plays one Enhanced Hammer, and Townstar is interesting too, and plays, of course, the Mimikyu and the Cornerstone Ogre Pawn, so it does kind of lean more into the control elements of what Quad Thorns can do, instead of just obviously like a straightforward Quad Thorns deck. Does have more control stuff. And speaking of control, we got another Snorlax here with the Rotom. We got another Dragapult with the Dusknoir, no Pidgeot, another Tropicos Dusknoir. Pretty standard list there, no Boufflant. No Lost Box deck, of course, Tord's Lost Box. So yeah, it's interesting Tord did play Lost Box to the tournament. Tord hasn't played a Lost Zone deck in a while. He wasn't able to do as well, unfortunately. But yeah, it's cool to see Tord on Lost Box. I just didn't expect him to play Lost Box. I was assuming he was just either playing Terapagos or maybe Charizard. But him on Zard is definitely interesting, for sure. Or Lost Box, sorry, not Zard. Another Cloth deck here doing its numbers in the tournament. Again, Cloth, everyone's hyping the deck up. It's not that good, man, but it's cool to still see it in day 2. I don't think we'll ever see it get top 4 for a while, but Cloth's still cool. I guess Tropicos' meta percentage is starting to fall down a little bit, which is kind of hurting the deck. Another Tropicos list here. Looks like another, whoops, went too far ahead there. Another Zard behind it, and this one does have Unfair Stamp and Bibarel in the deck. And then we got a Goldango, my beloved. Goldango's cool. It's got the Jamming Tower in the deck here. Yep, simple stuff. Yeah, I like Goldango. Fun deck. I'm off it now after Louisville, but yeah, it's cool to see Goldango in day 2 still. Not the highest placement ever, obviously, but it's cool to see it. And we got another Snorlax below it. And then we got another Raging Bolt here with the Slitherwing and the Triple Charm. Just kind of I think the best way to play it. And we got another Cloth in day 2. Again, not Spicy Cloth near the bottom. It's just not as good. Everyone's hyping the deck up, man. I'm like, nah, bro, the Cloth. It's a cool deck. It's a decent little rogue deck, but again, if Tropicos' meta percentage is dropping a bit, it's just not in the best spot right now. Because I think it loses to Drago. It loses to so many decks, right? It can beat Quad Thorns, however, though, which is right below it. It's got the Catchers and the Hammers in the deck, Double Cologne, another Raging Bolt here with the Slitherwing, plays the Briar and the Iono, and the Triple Charm. Let's see here. Another Goldango in day 2. Happy to see Goldango do well, but yeah, just not doing as good post Dortmund. Sad to see. It's not even a bad deck, to be honest with you. I guess like Bayonet's popular. It's not great either. Another Zard. We got another Bayonet Gardevoir behind it, of course. 660 what Piper played, it looks like, to Louisville. We got another Miraidon day 2 here. Yeah, pretty standard stuff. Got the Mewtwo, the triple Area 0 in the deck. And we got the interesting Mimikyu Ogre-Pond control deck here. So, I mean, people are still playing this deck after that, Baltimore finish it had. So, yeah, cool stuff. No Noivern in the deck, obviously, though. Does play the Diancie. No Noivern is interesting, though, considering how good Raging Bolt is. It did get day 2, so cool stuff to see. Can still farm a lot of decks, right? You can just kind of do the matchup roulette challenge and just kind of beat everything. Another Bayonet Gardevoir here looks like in the tournament. This deck might start getting more popular, I'm not going to lie. I know it's more of a European deck, but I do think that Bayonet Gardevoir will start getting more popular, especially heading into LAIC. We got the Slitherwing in the Raging Bolt with Triple Charm again. Another Cornerstone Mimikyu deck. This one's a bit different from the other list. Doesn't play the Noivern, but does have the Klefki and the Radiant Serena in the deck to help heal around like Drago and Dragapult. Looks like that's cool. And then another Bayonet, but this time it's Bayonet Dusknoir in day 2. Also got the Salvatore to get that turn 1 item lock off going second. And then finally we got Ancient Box in day 2. Yeah. Not Spicy Ancient Box day 2. It's not a bad deck either still. It's just kind of underwhelming into like the Dusknoir decks in my opinion, but it's still strong and can still beat a lot of stuff, right? If you're dodging Zard. But there is all of the decks that made day 2 at Lille. Honestly, a lot of innovations this weekend. We saw like Raging Bull with Noctowl Area 0. Of course, we saw Gouging Fire in top 16. Sanders, boxed order, Rotom-less Snorlax decks. So some really wild stuff this weekend. Some very cool innovations made this weekend at Lille. Will these results impact what he's played at LAIC? Who knows? Because LAIC, well, I guess Gdansk is coming up before LAIC. And then LAIC will be the last tournament in Stellar Crown. So we'll have to see how the results look going forward. But yeah, cool stuff. I'm curious to see if any of these results are going to impact going forward. I think Drago, after this tournament, I think we can all agree Drago is probably going to be BDIF again. I think it is now the best deck in the format. Yeah, Drago seems like it's going to be BDIF again. So we're probably going to see a lot more Drago going forward now. Probably Lost Box is going to fall off. I know Tord was playing it this weekend, but I don't think that Lost Box is great right now. Again, if Dragos can be more popular, it's just not great. We'll have to see if Sanders' Rotom-less Snorlax deck catches more groundswell. Gouging Fire maybe it gets more popular. I do think Bayonet Gardevoir is going to continue its run and keep getting more popular as the tournaments go on this format. And maybe the deck stays relevant in the Surging Sparks meta. Yeah, so we'll have to see on that one. But I hope you enjoyed the video here. I'll leave a link to Luminous down below if you want to go build any of these decks for yourself. And yeah, that'll be for me. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and I'll catch you on another video very soon here. Subscribe down below. Help me on the road reaching 18K subs. Check out the sponsors, TC Evolutions and Card Cavern. Use code LDF. And yeah, I'll catch y'all later. Bye-bye.